Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of 10 Minute Marvel. Today we're going to be talking about the three movies that are coming out in 2025, plus the news, which includes all of the titles of the What If episodes. We're going to be ranking them based off of nothing.
Based off of whatever we want.
Yes. So, to give you the right watching order, I'm Petter, and joining me as always.
As always, the real mole man, everybody, and co-host of the show is Greg, everybody. Thank you for coming back. Of course, as always, we appreciate your return and your listening and your sharing of our podcast, your friends, because we know you're doing that to help us out. And also, if you're looking for ways to support us, you can like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Search for 10 Minute Marvel. Also, follow us on Facebook and X. And of course, leave a rating and review wherever you get your neighborhood podcasts from, your friendly neighborhood podcast, that is. I
Yes.
was distracted by the yawn that Petter had, as we both are a little bit groggy today. But yes, find us and rate us and review us and give us some thumbs up and all that stuff. Thank you
Yes.
for joining us again.
Yes, so kicking off with rumors, this rumor popped up, and I think it's actually, I want to say it's a fairly safe bet with this rumor, but actually, there are two rumors that I think consider to be fairly safe bets.
I'll be the judge of that.
Yeah, the first one is that we get a Fantastic Four trailer with the Super Bowl.
Mm. Yeah, that is kind of a safe bet.
Yeah. The other one I'm actually going to retract a little bit. I don't think it's as likely as the people claim it is. Uh, but the rumor is that with Marvel Zombies, it's going to be coming out October 3rd, first episode, and then four episodes total. So it would go 3rd through the 24th, but that's a Friday release date. So I don't think that's going to happen. They haven't released on Fridays in a while.
Huh. So what was it before?
So they normally release on Wednesdays.
Oh, you're saying that they're okay.
Yeah.
They pushed it back 2 days, possibly.
I think they've maybe pushed it. I think the person who's putting out this rumor is thinking like, okay, Halloween's on a Friday, four episodes ago, the 3rd, the 10th, the 17th, and the 24th, and then Halloween is that final Friday. So it's like stacks up nicely for that, but I think it's more likely it's going to start on the 8th because that's then you have the 8th through the 29th basically for the four episodes.
Yeah. I wonder what they learned from like the Agatha All Along business this year.
I don't
Is that
think
because
much.
I'm sure they had stats on it. Like,
Yes.
what was the outcome of that for their viewers?
Yeah, but I mean, it's a fairly minor thing, or like ways they messed with stuff with Agatha all along, just the two episode kickoff and the two episode finale. And I think the two episode kickoff, I know there were lots of reports the viewership was a little bit low to start, which I don't think had anything to do with the two episodes. I think it just had a lot to do with the fact that people hadn't watched Secret Invasion or had watched Secret Invasion, didn't like it and maybe had skipped over Echo because of a character they didn't know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was gonna say it's just kind of that pretty far out there character to,
Yeah,
but we all know it definitely grew on people. So.
yes. So the next two rumors, and one of them I think does have a little bit of actually happening to it, but there was a rumor that they considered trying to figure out a story for Steve Rogers and Agent Carter and do a movie with those two characters. It feels
Kind of
too
glad.
late.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And I'm kind of glad they didn't in a way. Well, I don't know. It could work. It can. I'd be interested. I
It
would
could
rather probably
work.
see it in a show
Yeah.
style, but not the shows from a couple years ago style, the way they're doing things now style, where they're
Yeah.
showrunners again and all
Yep.
that. But
Yeah, I don't think it makes sense really as a show that much. And then as a movie, it's kind of like being like, oh yeah, like we did the Black Widow movie. It's like, okay, what's going to, why do I care about this going forward when I know like Agent Carter's dead and Steve in the present is Old Man Rogers?
man, they could have done it like The Notebook. They should just remade The Notebook, but with Steve and Peggy. I would have been on board. That Notebook, the Notebook's, man, that's a good show.
I
Don't you
disagree.
dare deny it. Don't you dare.
I disagree strongly.
You, we will have this conversation after the podcast, and I will prove you wrong.
Good luck. So
You're
then
you can look.
it's rumored that Haley Atwell, Chris Evans, and Anthony Mackie are all going to take part in Doomsday, and that when the Chris Evans news broke, and I'm pretty sure it is actually confirmed at this point, that shortly after that, Jeff Schneider, had on his podcast and like newsletter that Chris Evans is potentially going to be playing Nomad. So, Greg, why don't you tell us about Nomad?
I am pulling up Wikipedia right now. Nomad is the name of several fictional characters appearing in American comic books published in by
Do
Marvel Comics. I
you
will
want me
skip over
to
this
answer
part.
that part?
No, I'm gonna do
Oh,
it. I got it. Just it's gonna
all
take a
right.
couple paragraphs. Um,
Okay,
oh, sorry, my
so
phone just died. Go ahead. I'll let you take over.
so basically, Nomad is the character. Steve Rogers sets aside the mantle of Captain America because he disagrees with so strongly with what the government is doing, and basically becomes the character of Nomad, still basically being the same character, just not affiliated really with any nation.
And he throws stun discs,
Hmm.
supposedly. That's fun. They're
Yep.
just little Captain Shields. Is that what they are?
Yep.
Just the little ones.
Yeah, it's a Captain Shield with a hand buzzer on it.
Uh,
All right.
I'm trying. I was really trying to think of something clever to say, like caparangs, like a batarang, but in the cap form. Oh, okay, there. Let's edit that out.
Nope, that stays in.
Yeah.
Power of the editor. So, yeah, what do you think about all three of those characters? Well, I mean, Anthony Mackie makes sense.
Sure. Kind of obvious.
Yeah.
Haley Atwell, Peggy,
Hmm.
Captain Peg, Captain
Well,
At
potentially Captain
potential.
Carter, or, but not necessarily.
Yeah, I feel like it will be. But
I think so. Yeah.
and then I want to see Atwell come back. I
Hmm.
thought she's always been a favorite of mine.
Hmm.
I really liked the Agent Carter
Yeah.
show. That was good.
There've definitely been some of the rumors that imply that it's more like an Agent Carter, Peggy Carter that's coming back versus a
Hmm.
like Captain Carter.
Oh, really? I suppose
Yeah.
that's a lot of caps, really. I mean, if you're gonna
Yeah.
have potential
But
nomad slash old cap,
yeah. Yeah. And that's
and
like with the Nomad one, when I did a video on this news and was like, I think it might be an old man Steve Rogers because that plays into the Out of
Secret
Time
Wars, yeah,
storyline leading into Secret Wars, though I could also see Nomad as well, especially if these characters are meeting in like a battle world versus meeting in like or it being like the Steve Rogers, old man Steve from Earth 616.
yeah. I really kind of want him to somehow be aware, like maybe he traveled ahead, maybe I traveled into like ahead in time versus after he had returned all the stones and like it was only at a certain point that he could get to, and he was like trying to figure
Hmm.
out why he can't get any further. It's because basically things are destroyed.
Yeah, there
Universe
is
is
no
like,
further.
yeah, right. So he's probably like, well, what the heck's going on with that? And then he came back and he's sitting on that bench, right? Or he's kind of figured out that he needs to do something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Either way, whatever they do with them, I do like the Nomad idea. I think that's it's Cap, but it's a different version, and it allows that story to kind of play out a little bit more and have his involvement in there. So I was kind of excited when I heard that.
Hmm. Yeah, and the final rumor, and this one has popped up before, but again popped up that Marvel is talking to Nicolas Cage to get him to reprise his role as Ghost Rider.
Meh. I'm
Yeah,
Cage is kind of like he's so eccentric and I don't know. You
I
know what?
look at
I can't say anything. I haven't seen those. I honestly haven't seen them because I
okay.
just thought that I'm not a huge Nicolas Cage fan. So how are the movies? Have you seen them?
I have seen the first one. It is fine. Like it's one of those superhero movies where nobody, well, I'm sure there are some people who don't like it and some people who really love it, but I think it falls into that category of that was an okay-ish superhero movie and not that much more.
Okay, so toss it in between like two Marvel movies. And
Ooh, it's been so long since I've seen it. I don't feel super comfortable doing that, but I mean, I probably put it on like par with something like Captain Marvel, where it was just like, yeah, that's a fine movie, but nothing stood out that much. It was just okay.
okay. All right. Yeah, I honestly would rather have just somebody different.
Again,
Um,
this feels like the bring him back for Secret Wars. That's probably where we're gonna get some of the Fox X-Men characters back too that we were thinking we were gonna get in Deadpool and Wolverine. And then at the end of Secret Wars, we get this clean wipe and they use it as a chance. Maybe even at the end of the movie, we get introduced like in post credit scenes we get introduced to some of the new people who are going to be playing some of
yeah,
those roles.
I can see a lot of old characters come back for
Yep.
this as an homage, right, to what was done. Because it seems like they're gonna really just start fresh
Yes.
after Secret Wars. So I can see Feige wanted to kind of tip his hat to a lot of the
Hmm.
previous movies that came out, just as he did with the X-Men, or
Yeah.
wanting to do with the X-Men. So
Yeah. Well, and I think for me too, it also makes sense because like you can do that and then you can say this is like the hard line
mhm.
of we're not going to be doing these cameos again.
Right. Yeah. Like do that
So,
for Blade, right? Or
yeah.
not Blade, but like the
Well,
Snipes
yeah, Wesley
again, right?
Snipes, and have him pass off the blade to his blade to Mahershala Ali.
Yeah.
Blade, like the literal passing of the torch. So,
Yeah.
the passing of the blade.
The
All
passing of
right.
the blade. Yes.
So, on to the news. First off, a statement that Ryan Reynolds made was a couple pieces of it. First off, that he doesn't really want to do a Deadpool and Wolverine 2 because that would just feel like retreading ground, which makes sense. All the Deadpool movies have been different enough. Like, it doesn't feel like they're just kind of retreading the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah. I could go like and I've said this kind of before. I rewatched it and it wasn't what I wanted it to be
Hmm.
exactly. And so I'm okay with them not revisiting for a second one.
Yeah.
Um
And he
so
also said that he wanted Deadpool to be more of a supporting character in stuff.
yeah, that's
I
where
mean,
I would rather see him at this
yeah.
point.
Yeah, and
So
he also even called out that like he doesn't want Deadpool to be a part of an Avengers team or an X-Men team, just be that kind of supporting role that shows up every once in a while. Which I'm like, yeah, that works well for a character who can break the fourth wall like that too.
yeah, that's true. Um yeah, I think what they've done with Deadpool, do you feel like they've kind of put painted him into a corner a little bit? Like
Well, I
I mean,
think every
yeah, go ahead.
time Ryan Reynolds has done what he's wanted to with that character, and unless he comes up with an idea that he feels like is different and has a natural progression for that character, he's not going to be pushing for or trying to get them to do another movie.
Yeah, and I think that Ryan Reynolds there could be a script or something he creates that's got some depth to it and that would revitalize kind of my interest again, but I'm not really interested to see it purely for jokes and cameos.
Yes. Yep.
So,
So then, uh, the Amy Pascal had an interesting quote around Spider-Man 4. And thank you to everybody who has watched this video. I think it's like 150 some views at this point. So for a video that's been out 3 days, 4 days at this point. But the
did
quote
you have your shirt
here,
off?
I mean, I always film it with my shirt off. If you watched any of the videos, you know that.
Uh,
I
I
mean,
will be the 151st for that
that
video.
would be probably more appropriate than my Boner Family Reunion Pitch and Tent t-shirt that I'm wearing.
Uh, well, that Norwegian skin, I don't know, man.
Yeah. It makes it tricky to white bounce. Well,
Yeah.
makes it real easy to white bounce, but have to
We lose them in
really
the snow
close
all
the
the time.
aperture. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the quote she had Well, we have to deal with the fact that he decided he was going to give up being Peter Parker and he was going to focus on being Spider-Man because being Peter Parker was too hard. So that's what the movie's about. There's room to grow. I love that the sounds of that the head of Sony is, or the head of like Sony Spider-Man stuff is saying, we understand like where we left the character at, and we understand that we have to deal with that.
Yeah, because we're there seemed to be two different directions that it was going, or that they thought about going in,
Yes.
right? More grounded, street level kind of thing. And
Disney
then,
Marvel
yep.
side wanted that.
And then Sony was thinking they want to get it somehow into the spum, or into
No.
the like the
Nope,
galact
just multiversal again.
multiversal.
Yeah.
That's the word I'm
Yep.
looking for. So,
And there's been also been the rumors too that the King in Black, Null, is going to be the villain for it too,
yeah.
which I think just stems from the fact that that character was added to Venom 3.
But I think the way Craven has gone, I think they're really putting the nail in the coffin on this, on the rest of the Spum
Yeah, well,
universe. And
y-
so,
I
and
think
now,
even before that, because Craven doesn't have any post-credit scenes, it doesn't have anything that ties into anything else that they've really done, from my understanding.
yeah, so that gives them a little bit more of the like the freedom to go, I think, in that Marvel
Yes.
what they were wanting to take the character into,
Yes, I think so
which
too.
thank God.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I think that's what makes that some of those Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland so good is his is the character
Yes.
development that they've had, his struggles, and
Hmm.
yeah, I think hopefully that's what they're gonna end up doing and don't go
Yeah.
cosmic so much with it.
Well, and I think this leans into some of like the things that we talked about previously with the rumors of like Black Cat and how Black Cat kind of loves Spider-Man, not Peter, and can be that element of this other masked figure who is like the connecting point to reality, the connecting point to everything that's not just being Spider-Man for Spider-Man, and Spider-Man Peter Parker is going to have to, through the movie, kind of figure out like, okay, as much as I want to just be the person in the mask, I still have to have connection to humanity. I can't I can't just ignore that even though I've been hurt by it.
Right. It's he's kind of running from himself, right? It's
Yes.
and so there's lots of good opportunity for a story to come out of that, I think.
Yes.
Just rediscovering
Hmm.
who he is.
Hmm.
But what's cool, I like the idea of him kind of burying the Peter Parker side and pushing through with the Spider-Man side, which is it's not like he's going evil. He's just really gonna just and that's also how the world knows him. Like he almost
Yep.
doesn't have a choice, right?
Right.
Because Peter Parker doesn't really exist, and it's only Spider-Man at this point. So he
Hmm.
has to lean into that, and but
Yeah,
he
he
has to
has.
lean into that to find himself again, I think.
Yeah, and I think he has to lean into it to realize that he can't just put effort into knowing and interacting with people as Spider-Man.
Mhm.
He has to start to rebuild himself as Peter Parker,
Yeah.
as a person again. And what that looks like, who that's with, he's going to have to be willing to risk it just because he's going to start to, I think, potentially even lose the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man touch to dealing with bad guys.
Yeah, so do you think that will lead, are they going to pull in some sort of like Venom thing to it? Or,
Don't, I could see it. I mean, that it would make sense if you pull it in a Venom thing, because then as Spider-Man, he looks at the Venom symbiote or that experience and he's like, "Ooh, this has given me more power to stop bad guys," and not realizing how it's making him dance weirdly in the streets.
I hated that, by the way. I absolutely hated that. Um, Reason number 300 that I would rather have Garfield as Spider-Man versus
Yeah,
Tobey
but that was
Maguire.
Sony's fault, not
Yeah, that's
Tobey
fair.
Maguire or Sam Raimi's fault.
Ugh. Anyways, the
Yes.
I think what kind of sucks is that this great opportunity for the character to rediscover himself and to go through this stage in his life.
Mhm.
It is bookended by the universe being destroyed.
Yeah.
So it's like it's just a hard place to do this, but somehow I'm guessing they'll maybe tie in how he can kind of rebirth himself,
Hmm.
redeem himself maybe as a person, his own Peter Parker,
Yeah.
and then help out in this
Well,
before Battle World or
yeah,
into Battle World.
I think one good way they could do that is with Miles Morales or another Spider-Man character. Because, like, in Miles' universe, Peter dies, correct?
According to Into the
Spider.
Spider-Verse.
Yeah. And because you can play with that idea of um if Spider-Man dies as the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, that very good, joking, lighthearted character, and Tom Holland's Spider-Man has taken a bit more of a serious it's my duty to stop all crime so nothing can happen like happened to Aunt May, and it's just too much of a risk to have a Miles who looks up to him and is like, in my world, you were like this, and to kind of remind him of who he's supposed to be. I think that could work
Yeah,
and fit into the Battle World setting.
yeah. But it's just like in the show Arcane.
I
Have
need
you
to
been
watch
watching
season
that?
two
Oh my,
still.
oh my God. For our listeners, if you have not watched Arcane season one
So
or
good.
season two, it's amazing. Visually, story, it's amazing. It's one of the characters, I'm not going to spoil anything. One of the characters in season two kind of is that support system for Powder. And
Yeah.
it's really cool.
Yep.
Sorry, I got off topic, but man, that show
Yeah.
blows me away when I watch it. Blows me away.
Also, there's apparently one scene in season two that is was done purely as charcoal drawings,
Oh,
and
yep.
both seasons individually cost 250 million to animate.
I mean, you can see it.
Hmm. It's
Like if you,
ridiculous.
yeah, because I had really no concept of this,
Yeah,
years ago. I'm like, I don't, but now that I've kind of understood more about what goes into it, uh, I mean,
it's
everything that they're
stupid good.
doing. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, back on track.
Yep. Here we go.
We have did you finally track down the What If teaser
I
that
did.
they put out?
Wait. Yeah, I watched it.
There's only a little bit of new footage in there. We get to see Storm as like wielding Mjolnir
She has
a little.
a line or two, right,
Yeah,
in there too.
yeah. So we get to see a little bit more of that, but a lot of it's just the same that we've already seen.
Yeah. I was thinking I did watch Marvel release kind of a little bit of behind the scenes or
Hmm.
somebody who had worked on the animation of it all and I don't know who I can't remember who it was. I'm sorry, I totally forgot. I just watched it a little bit ago. I watched that and it was mostly just a lot of stuff from season one that they talked
Hmm.
about, but it was cool. But
Nice.
yeah, the it didn't give me a whole lot in this new little trailer, but
Hmm. But we did also get the titles of all the episodes.
yeah, that I did not get to.
All right. That's fine. I was going to read them all off here anyways because it would be useless for me to have said that and then not tell them.
Do you see how I set you up on that? Like it was
Hmm.
perfect.
I
I'm like, you know what I'm
appreciate
gonna
it.
do? I'm not gonna read the titles. I'm gonna make Peta do it because the listeners are gonna want to hear anyways.
Hmm.
So
You could have lied about it and have read the titles anyways, too,
I
just so you would be slightly more prepared.
I could have, but I'm not a liar, Peta.
Okay,
I'm
fair,
a I'm a
fair.
good I'm a good boy.
So the first one is what if Hulk fought the Mech Avengers? So this is the
Oh,
Voltron one.
right
It's
out the
gonna,
gate they're going with it,
yep.
huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
to me that tells me I think that it's going to be more standalone than some of the other ones.
Yeah.
Um, Kind of like the Nebula Blade Runner.
Oh, yeah, which I think is either number one or close to the top of the list last year.
Yeah, that one was way up for me.
Yep.
Um, then we have what if Agatha went to Hollywood?
Oh.
So this one, I believe, uh, No, I don't actually know much in the way of rumors about this one.
How much of Agatha do we see in the trailer? I'm trying to think.
Not a little bit, but yeah, just a little bit. Um, then the next one is what if the Red Guardian stopped the Winter Soldier? So
Okay.
instead of Steve being the one to kind of deactivate Bucky or get Bucky out, it was the Red Guardian instead. And that's the one that was originally, I believe, supposed to be part of season two that
Yeah.
got bumped to season three when they bumped the Gamora episode from season one to season two. Um, what if Howard the Duck got married? So this one is supposed to tie into the Party
Okay.
Thor.
Oh, that was my least favorite. But
So Howard the Duck and Darcy getting married.
how are you feeling about that? Since
Um,
Darcy's one of your girls.
uh, I'll be curious to see what they do with it. Eh, I mean, I'm reading all these titles and I'm going like, okay, which ones are going to tie into anything, like a bigger story? Then after that, we have what if the Emergence destroyed the Earth? So this is the Eternals one. Like, what if the Eternals hadn't stopped the Celestial from being born? And I'm trying to think what footage we saw that might tie into that.
So it's what if the Eternals
What
did,
if what if the emergence destroyed the Earth?
which I think isn't that part of a section of Hickman's Fantastic Four run? Like they actually, or no, I'm sorry. That's
No.
it. That was the a bunch of Eternals, basically badass Eternals
Mhm.
going around destroying things. And
Yeah.
okay, never mind. Confusing.
Then what if 1872? So that's Wild West one.
Okay.
Followed by what if the Watcher disappeared?
Hmm.
Obviously,
That sounds
that's the
interesting.
yeah, that's the are we going to have story in the previous ones that is setting that up? It's probably the question.
I'm thinking about what happens after that? Is that where he disappears and he enters into
Live action?
live action?
Well, the final episode is called What If? What If?
Very, very ominous.
Yep. So I am I'm intrigued by those last two episodes in particular.
Hmm.
And honestly, I'm with you. The Howard the Duck one is the one I'm least excited for. I had fun with the Party Thor episode. It wasn't my least favorite among the bunch,
Yeah,
but from season one, but it's not a standout episode. It's just a goofy fun episode
yeah,
with a lot of callbacks to a lot of random stuff.
yeah. Um, I think so far out of all those, I think the Hulk one, the mech one is obviously that's the big one for me. And then I'm kind of
I mean,
see, well, not the
the last
Guardian.
two,
Yeah, the last two obviously like that's those are I feel like are going to be big.
yeah,
The Emergence, Destroy the Earth. I'm curious about that. And the 1872 I think could be a pretty cool one as well. But
yeah,
yeah, boy, that episode seven really kind of yeah, it'd be good.
yes, and then
Which they start yeah,
a week,
December 22nd,
a
right?
week from today.
A week from today. I'm
Yes.
sorry, like I'm having a little bit of a parental
Yeah.
panic attack, right?
You also don't know what year it is, so for the
It's
callback.
Well, it's isn't it 1871? Because
Yes.
I'm
Yep.
excited about 1872.
hmm
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yep.
Yep. Uh, so then Marvel gave
Huh.
us not one, but two Captain America Brave New World videos,
Okay, I'm getting a little bit worried about this now. I feel like they didn't add a whole lot,
which I'm fine
and
with in both of them.
I'm fine with that. But at the same time,
I think the first one came out, and now the first one barely adds anything. That was, I believe, in conjunction with Empire magazine article on it. So I think they kind of released it as a little bit of a tease as they were finishing getting the next trailer ready. And I think that both of them did give us some new stuff, and I think a good amount of new stuff. I don't need more at this point.
but it's like new stuff all within the original stuff.
Yes. Well, and
So
we do get reference to adamantium.
okay,
So direct reference to that. We get more Torres as Falcon because we
okay,
hadn't really gotten any of that before. We just seen the suit. And I think I don't think we're gonna get a ton more. This is
Well, that's what I'm
like,
saying. Like, there's
yeah,
nothing.
we got the story trailer basically at this point of there's somebody who's infiltrated President Ross's inner circle and is doing so at the behest of the leader, and now and it's all surrounding the adamantium that was found on the Celestial.
Yeah,
And at this point in time, I don't want more because I want more surprises, not in like characters showing up or stuff like that,
sure.
but anything else. I want to go into that movie. I think they've done a good job of not tipping off who in the inner circle it might be because we haven't really seen them. And I think they're trying to keep that like that's going to be the guessing game of the movie.
What if it's a scroll?
Oh, that'd be amazing. Bring back Secret Wars. It's
Yeah,
Gaia.
that is like that's like movie suicide. If it was Gaia,
Yes.
oh my God, that is true movie suicide right there.
Yeah.
Um, but if it was what's her name? Coleman's character.
Falsworth.
Yeah,
Well, that's what I'm wondering is if
that'd be
we
fun.
could get Falsworth in this because it is kind of that espionage,
Yeah.
that sort of thing, and that she is, and like the UK are one of the groups who are making a play for adamantium as well. Like everybody's racing towards it, and she's like the
So
person from that.
yeah, what? Okay, in that trailer.
Yes.
th Ross says something to Sam
Yep.
about he said who needs Captain America, but he says like or I mean that's not what he doesn't say who I'm asking who needs Captain America. I can't hear what he says. It's right at the beginning of of he says somebody or something needs Captain America and I can't figure out what it is. It's really poor audio and
I
I'm wondering if
think
you heard
it's
it.
just
Oh, I should have put closed captions on.
I
Dang
know.
it.
I was actually going to pull that up and do it right now.
Okay,
Um,
do that because I can't figure this out. And I'm just trying to think, are they trying to, is it just a poor edit or are they trying to mask something?
um,
It's towards the
country.
beginning.
It's
Country
just
needs
the
Captain America.
country. Yeah, and it's not even like that's actually pretty clear.
Okay, really?
Yes.
All right, well, these 30-year-old ears, I guess.
Yep. Yeah. So
Also, I mean, the audio in 1954 is it's a little bit rough still. So,
yes. Yep.
um, second thing I was wondering about it,
Mhm.
um, Sidewinder says stand by for proof of death. I'm wondering,
Who that is?
yeah, who's he talking to, I wonder
Hmm.
if
Who?
that's going to
Well,
be
yeah.
the leader or not, but
Yeah. Well, because I kind of think he's talking to the leader, but who are they trying to take out? Is
right.
it going to be is it going to be Sam Wilson? Is it going to be Thunderbolt Ross? Is it going to be Sabra? Is it going to be Falcon? Is this going to be like the surprise reveal of hey, Hulk is in this movie?
Yeah.
Like briefly, or Old Man Cap?
Or would it be oh my God, I'm blanking on his name. The old Cap. The original Cap. Oh,
So, uh,
who
Isaiah Bradley?
thank
I
you.
mean,
There you go.
yeah, yeah, the second, yeah, the
The
super soldier.
second.
Yeah,
Yeah. So,
I could think it could be any of them, especially if, I mean, Isaiah Bradley can make a lot of sense too, because they did something to Isaiah Bradley. If Sam Wilson can get the ear of everybody to like investigate that, look into that, kind of probe Isaiah Bradley's mind, then it could reveal something. So they're trying to take out Isaiah Bradley.
yeah. Or,
I
yeah, the
also,
kind of cleaning up, kind of maybe it's
Mhm.
a cleanup after the
Yeah,
fact of after the attempted execution or
yeah,
whatever you want to call it, of
assassination.
Ross. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I could definitely see something like that. And it's like the leader set up this first part, and then the leader used the Serpent Society to try and clean it up as like two separate parts of the same operation
Hmm.
to basically make it as clean as possible.
Right. To pit almost two people or two groups against each other would might be another
Mhm.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, or to really draw the federal government and the FBI, CIA, Secret Service, everybody to the Serpent Society over him.
Yeah. It, false narrative, uh,
Mhm.
conspiracy theory stuff, like really
Yeah,
driving that to just kind of fray the government as
yeah,
best as possible.
yeah. I do
So,
also, I really appreciate that they kind of give us some of, I think, what the emotional story is going to be for this.
mm,
And I talk about it in the video that I did on the teaser, not the full trailer. But you have Thunderbolt Ross basically being like, I don't like the Avengers, but I can see that you're doing a good job, so I want you to reform the Avengers, basically, but kind of within as a group within the US government.
yeah.
And I kind of like that for that character and for Sam because he still has to figure out what it looks like for him to truly be Captain America.
See, I don't know if Ross wants the Avengers per se, as maybe he just wants it a Captain America. Like, 'cause for him, I would
No,
think just
he's
one. Doesn't he say
I,
Captain America? Like the country needs Cap.
yeah. Let me check again. Doing this in real time. Yeah, yeah, the country needs Captain America. Might be in the trailer where he says something more about the Avengers.
Okay.
But yeah, in the tease, it's just in particular Captain America. But yeah, it's kind of like bringing this person in, and I had into the fold, and I actually had an interesting, I think, idea for this, and kind of because, like I was saying, I think Sam still needs to figure out what it means for him to be Captain America. And we've kind of gotten some of those clues with him as Falcon and just with the work that he's done. He is less of a fighter than Steve Rogers, Captain America. He's more kind of ready to talk stuff through
Yeah.
and but because like he does the groups for the war soldiers coming home
Hmm.
and just kind of doing all of that. And then you're facing him off against the Red Hulk at some point in time. How is a non-super powered Captain America, non-super soldier Captain America supposed to beat the Red Hulk? Like you can't have him just stand there and trade punches like Steve Rogers would try and do.
Yeah.
He
Uh,
has to be able to talk him down.
yeah. So yeah, it makes me wonder, is there a we have a hidden character yet? Or is it
I'm,
just gonna be like the Sam's gonna do a little therapy session with Red Hulk,
I
talking,
th
which is
yeah,
kind of I mean, I can appreciate that in a way,
and
but at the same
it's
time,
true
that's not
to
what people are going to the movies for.
right. And I mean, this is going to be, I think, after there's a battle in DC, probably after Red Hulk. And that's where I think we may have like the Hulk show up and the Hulk and Red Hulk battle and kind of go on the run out of there. And Sam has to track him down at some point and basically talk him down.
I think some of that shot of the White House, I think it was the White House getting like something goes off
Yeah,
the sides of it. Like, is that maybe part of the battle? Like, is that
I
maybe it's
think
a
that's
Hulk and Red Hulk battle or something
Yeah, I
like
think it's
that?
a Hulk and Red Hulk battle, or like Red Hulk leaping away somewhere,
Yeah.
something like that. So I think we're gonna kind of get that defined who Sam Wilson, Captain America, is, which I think is going to be like the emotional kind of character arc that we go on for this.
Yeah, yeah, I think he needs to kind of solidify. I think I need him to
Hmm.
kind of be done with his not adventure, but like venture into the Captain America. Like,
Yeah, he has to embrace who his Captain America is and really make sure that he has stepped away from trying to just be Steve Rogers, Captain America.
yeah, I just need him to be Captain America after this. I think that
Yes.
just with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I mean, which I again still stand behind. I
Hmm.
thought that was it was good, but if it's more like, I don't know how to fill these shoes kind of thing, then I need him to kind of really get comfy in those boots
Yeah.
and
Well, and
shield.
I think that's where having Red Hulk, having Thunderbolt Ross be a character that he interacts with a lot helps.
Hmm.
Because Thunderbolt Ross is going to just be like, I want you to be Captain America this way, the way that it works for me, that it's going to help me, and the way that's going to take care of the problems the way that I want to take care of them, which is going to be much more straightforward. Deal with it.
Mhm.
Like punch it in the face until it goes away.
I I don't think Ross wants to be the Red Hulk though, so I think that'll
No.
help out, right? That's going to help
Yes.
Sam and what he's trying to do,
Mhm.
to be able to talk him down, maybe. So,
Yes, I think so. I think there's that element to it. I think also where I was going with the Thunderbolt Ross is that also then really helps solidify that this is a different Captain America who does
mhm.
stuff in a different way because we have somebody who is almost an audience surrogate for some people who will be in the audience who are just like, we just want the regular Captain America back again. We just want it to be the exact same thing. And it's going to be like, no, this is who this Captain America is. And we're going to leave that movie well defined with that. And I actually think that helps with the news that we're going to have Sam Wilson, Steve Rogers, and Peggy Carter in Doomsday because it sets each of them into kind of a separate bucket of similar type characters.
So who takes, so it just makes me kind of wonder about what they're going to do when Secret Wars is done.
Hmm.
And if you're talking like potential of X-Men, Avengers versus X-Men, or some of that, is Steve Rogers, is Captain America out? Is he done? Are they
I think
replacing him
so.
with a different character or a different actor? Or do they bring Chris Evans back? I mean, or they keep going with Anthony
Sam.
Mackie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you keep going with Anthony Mackies.
I'm not opposed to that by any
Yeah.
means. It's like
Well,
if
and this is all based off of the assumption that we are even going to be doing Avengers versus X-Men.
yes, true. I mean, doing straight Avenger or straight X-Men after this, after Secret Wars,
Hmm.
I I maybe I don't know. I just don't feel like that.
Well,
It's fine with me, but I just
yeah. Well, you
that's
can
a
do X-Men and you can do Avengers, but you don't have to have it culminate in Avengers versus X-Men.
yeah, but I think that's a big title that would put a lot of butts in seats. And Marvel
It
would be
would.
I think Marvel would be pretty down
Mhm.
with that outcome.
Mhm. But I guess also too, if that's 5 years down the road, like after Secret Wars, so if that's 2032,
Oh, so like next year.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
If that's 2032, they have a lot of time to put out a number of movies, shows, and stuff before then too.
Sure. It just feels like some of the like it's gonna be hard for them to let go of some of these staple characters. Obviously, they've kind of let go of Iron Man in a way.
Hmm.
Sort of. I mean, you kind of with RDJ coming back, it's not, it is, but it isn't. So, will they move on? It's kind of what I'm
Hmm.
wondering. And if they or will they just
And
keep
yeah.
Anthony Mackie's Sam Wilson's Captain America for going forward, which is cool. That's fine.
Hmm.
Just kind of a thought. It was interesting.
Yeah. Also, we've really started the main topic too at this point.
Yes. And we're into the main topic.
Yeah.
Speaking of Iron Man though, I think
Yeah.
what some of the comics should like they were trying to lean into was having
Hmm.
Ironheart take over Iron Man.
Hmm.
And I think they should just do that. I think it's filling that gap that at least as far as the MCU entertainment
Hmm.
goes, it fills the gap of having an Iron Man and it brings in a new version of a new character, a new twist on it, and a
Yep.
fresh twist. So I don't know, I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, well, I think that's where the champions can kind of come in too. Like I still really like the kind of idea that I have around the champions, Young Avengers, and I think calling them the champions is a better idea than the Young Avengers, but play with the characters on the champions team. When you want to introduce a new character, you bring them into the champions, and then as you start to get some really successful characters in the champions, characters that people recognize, characters that have cameoed and crossed over into the movies, then you start to graduate them up to the Avengers.
Yeah. It's definitely a way that they would be able to
Mhm.
flush out what works, doesn't work,
Yeah.
like just from the audience's standpoint. So,
Mhm.
but
And
yeah.
then like with a character like Riri Williams, who got off to a rough start in Black Panther Wakanda Forever, it doesn't put it all on, okay, watch Ironheart, and now she's the new Iron
Yeah,
Man-esque
oh no.
character.
Yeah, they can't make that leap.
Yeah, that
I think
would,
she did great in that show. I'm not saying you were saying that she didn't, but I think it was the wrong place, obviously, for that.
yes, it
But
was, yeah, they just didn't give her that much to work with.
yeah.
Um, but before we continue on with Brave New World, anything else that we want to talk about it with that, I did just want to say thank you to everybody who voted for their most anticipated show.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
8 votes, 75%, so six of them, Wonder Man.
Wait, what?
No,
That was
Daredevil
that
Born Again.
yours? Oh, I
Yeah,
was like, seriously?
but so that's 6 out of the 8 votes. I did vote for Wonder Man, and one person did vote for Ironheart as well.
Oh, really?
So, yeah,
Okay,
every show got a vote.
that's
Some of them
cool.
just got 6 votes.
All right, you Ironheart lover out there, keep voting.
Yeah. Yes.
Mix it up for us.
Mhm.
All right, we should talk about Thunderbolts before it's midnight.
Yes. Yes, that'd be good. So, Thunderbolts,
Butthole.
yes,
Asterix.
Asterisk. I'm I still am very excited for this one because I like the cast of characters. Not all of them. Okay, I need to see more from Ghost. I need to see anything from Taskmaster.
Yeah,
But Yelena, Red Guardian, Johnny Mayonnaise, and Bucky, that's a
solid.
great core group.
Yeah. You know what? Some of the rewatching the trailer before this, I was like,
Mhm.
and we got to see a little bit of Ghost and some of
Yeah,
the action. Yeah, there's some good. I think some of her fight scenes
yeah,
that she'll have, it'll be pretty sweet.
yeah.
It'll flex her powers a little bit more.
Trying to
So,
remember the actress's name. Hannah John Kamen, I
yep.
believe. Yes. She is like I like her as an actress. She was in Killjoys as one of the main characters, a sci-fi channel show from 2015 to 2019. So it just finished a year ago for Greg.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
but
just got done watching it the other week.
she's a fun character in that, and did like a really good job in that role. So I think there's a chance for like that her to shine more as an actor in that role than she did in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah. Um, I guess in all fairness to the Brave New World trailer, this has also been pretty self-contained as far as
Mhm.
what they're showing. We got what a scene on a desert road. We've got the warehouse scene, kind of where Bob
Yeah,
is at Avengers Tower, and I think what probably is
the Red Guardian's place.
oh, there's a Red Guardian's place. True, that's brief. But there's something like they're almost it's street level. They bust in through a huge glass window, which
Yeah.
I don't know if that's Avengers Tower at the base or what that is. But
Hmm.
like, I feel like there's going to be a lot more outside of this, and they've contained it. And we, like you've said, and I think other people have mentioned too, it's really a lot of that first half hour
Yep.
probably of stuff. So that gets me pretty excited about this. And rewatching the trailer again, I agree with you. The chemistry that we're seeing with some of the characters is exciting. But I just, man, I'm really excited for Bob.
I know that, and I don't want to see any more Bob than we've already seen in the next trailer because there's
Yeah,
probably going to be what one more trailer and a couple more TV spot teaser type things,
yeah,
and just keep that character a mystery and make it so that you have to look up who he's playing.
hmm,
Don't don't ever give that away who Bob is to people who don't want to do the work to figure it out because that's going to be a fun reveal
yeah,
if you don't know who he is.
yep,
If you're
I
listening to
agree.
this podcast, you do. So you
Hmm.
spoiled it for yourself. Nobody to blame but yourself and us. But please
Manly
keep
Fire. Yeah.
continuing listening.
Um,
Yeah,
I I don't know if I have much else on this one. Like I think
who
I'm trying to think what my top choice was before. If I had Brave New World or Thunder, no, I didn't. I can't remember which I had first and second, or sorry, third and second.
well, we'll figure that out later.
Yes.
Uh, So I do think with this one, they've done a solid job of also not giving us a bad guy for this.
Yeah, I mean, we got
There's
Allegra.
there's Val, who we
Yeah.
assume's going to be the bad guy ish, but we've never seen anybody like that they face off against. They face off against each other. Like the fight sequences that we've seen, or the main fight sequences, are either Bucky chasing the down the limousine, or in that compound warehouse thing.
Yeah.
I think it's probably more of a bunker that all the characters fight each other and then Bob shows up.
Yeah. I I mean, I bet you it'd be like there's a bad guy, like the main baddie,
Mhm.
probably Skrulls. That's a so
Gaia.
Gaia. Oh man, Gaia versus Sentry, aka Bob. Sorry for those who didn't know
Yep.
yet.
Yeah.
Spoil it again. Who would win? Who
Hmm.
would win? Man, if we do like a battle at the end of the year or something like that, if
Bob.
like Bob a Sentry you think would take him out, take
Yeah.
her out.
Yep. I think so.
Ugh. Sorry, I'm stuck on that. Okay. Um, onward.
hmm Fantastic Four. And Fantastic Four, I mean, just wrapped filming. Um, New rock stars. Did you watch the video where Eric Voss walks through the process of how they're figuring out who is most likely in the photo
Oh, yeah, yeah.
with Pedro Pascal?
Yeah. And they thought it was the I
Well,
don't remember.
spoilers on this,
Oh,
just in case it
Bear.
happens to be right. You're listening to us talk about stuff that's coming out for next year, but we'll keep it brief, about 30 seconds. So skip ahead about a minute, just in case we don't.
Yeah. I can even keep the actor's name out because I don't even know what it is. So,
hmm
all right. Yeah.
It's
Skip
spoilers. Yeah,
it. You have been warned. Um, the Reed Richards from the Jessica Alba,
yeah.
whatever you,
Chris Evans. Yeah,
yeah,
that
that. So like Council
Ian.
of Reeds kind of
Yeah,
concept.
yeah. Ian something or
They
something
like
like that.
matched his chin and like
Yeah,
and also like I guess there was somebody brought in with underneath the jacket and I don't know they were like the height and the scruff and it
yeah.
was pretty ridiculous what New Rockstars did, but it was kind of funny and it doesn't seem too far off, honestly.
hmm
Um,
Yeah, I'm trying to figure. I'm trying to get the name so I can absolutely butcher it. Um, Aeon Grufford, and I guarantee you that's horribly wrong.
it's
Uh,
actually it's actually like Ian McGriffin and he's just
yep.
um
But anyways,
yeah.
past that spoiler now.
Yeah, it's so that was kind of interesting. Which man, it makes me just more hyped for this.
Hmm
I have been just kind of when I'm working around the house and stuff like that. I toss on some Comics Explained, right? And I decided to go through the Hickman run of Fantastic Four.
Yep. I
And
need to do
man,
that.
oh,
I
it
just need to
is.
read that too.
Yeah, it does. It makes me want to read the whole thing.
Hmm
Because I haven't, but this is that storyline. It's great. It's so good,
hmm
and I'm just excited if they do some counselor reads. I'm excited if they now just think knowing more a little or remembering part of that story, the mole man and why they go down, and actually he's in there, and so I don't know. I'm more excited for this movie now because I feel like they're gonna pull in some of those things,
hmm
or maybe I just really want. I
Well,
don't know,
I do
but
think they, I mean, I won't be surprised if they do, because what the Hickman run of Fantastic Four was, let's see,
and
Fantastic
they're
Four.
casting, I mean, they got kids, right? They're gonna have
hmm
Franklin in there and Val
So
and
2009, so about 15 years ago, 24 if you're Greg.
yeah.
Um,
Yep.
that's about what Kevin Feige has said, though, is he says look to kind of that time frame
Mhm.
of 10, 15 years ago. And that's where the stories are going to be coming from.
Yeah. And it's a great story. I mean, it's really well thought out and really interesting.
Hmm
So, um, every little detail typically means something,
Yes,
will come back
Hickman's so
around.
good with that.
Yeah. So anyways, I think this is it's up a few notches now for me after I've been kind of reading through some of the
Mhm.
older Fantastic Four stuff. So
Yeah. Yep. And Man, I'm excited for like I said, I think there's a decent chance the first trailer comes out February 9th with the Super Bowl. I'm excited if they have Galactus speak in there because again, that
Hmm.
the actor, his voice is just so amazing.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I want
That
I want more of this. I want to see what's coming from this and to hear more of the story because I feel like I don't have the best grasp on what story they're going to be doing
yeah.
in a good way.
Hmm. That makes it fun. It does.
Hmm.
It'll make I kind of hate that it's on the Super Bowl, or it could be.
Hmm.
It could be
But I mean,
because I can't pay attention enough. Like I'm like, there's
well,
about usually stuff going on. Maybe we have people here,
yep.
or and so I always end up
Well,
missing it. So
and the last couple of years, I think they've done the Super Bowl ones, and it's always here's a 30-second, 45-second thing followed up by, and the trailer's now available online,
mm, yeah.
which means that it's real nice because it's like just like, okay, once that's happened, it might have a tiny bit of extra footage that isn't in the trailer, but it's going to be minuscule. It's mainly going to be stuff from that first trailer. Once you see that, you just know, or once you hear about that happening, like if you miss it, I'll text you. Um, then you just go sequester yourself in a room and watch the trailer
Yeah.
for 2 minutes, and then watch it two more times, and then come back out, and you've probably only missed the national anthem at that point.
Yeah. 'Cause I don't think I'm gonna miss the Super Bowl halftime show this. Isn't it Kendrick? Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar, says the wife.
Yes, we have a cameo.
Um,
So,
yeah, so I'm not missing that. Otherwise, that's usually when I've kind of like snuck away and
yeah.
like I'm like, yeah, I don't really care usually.
Hmm. So, yeah, that I'm trying to think what else kind of want to talk about with Fantastic Four. Um, it's it's just going, I mean, at this point in time, it's just hoping that we get a really good Fantastic Four. And I've seen some reports of like, okay, yes, this has just finished filming, but they're already like as the footage comes in, they start to piece together rough cuts of stuff, and that people are really liking how it's turning out.
Hmm.
So,
I I have to probably I should really stop reading the Hickman stuff because I don't want to be let down almost. Like I'm gonna
mhm,
be wanting all these things incorporated in that what I've the things I've loved so much about that story. And there's it could be it's
mhm,
not necessarily gonna pull from that, only that. It could pull from
mhm.
many other Fantastic Four stories, but it just yeah, I don't want to get to the point where I let myself down, right? Because there's only so much they can jam in this movie. So
Right. Well, and that's the thing that I love. And you mentioned the Hickman stuff. I'm like, okay, I'm actually going to start reading that
yeah,
now, because I'll have some time in like the evenings over the holidays when I'm up at my folks' place and like just nothing's going on,
right.
so I can sit down and actually read some then.
Hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, that's a good thing to bring along and just read and dive into and enjoy.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
But
Are we
let's rank
ranking
them.
these? Yep.
Yes.
Okay. On the same
You're
page
number
here.
three.
My number three, I'm gonna say it's Brave New World at this point.
Same. It's some of it is that I didn't necessarily love the two. I'm not, yeah, I don't love Winter Soldier as much as most people do. I definitely don't like Civil War as much as most people do.
Wrong. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean
just
that's
because
right.
I
But
understand I understand how the plot worked and why it's seriously flawed doesn't, yeah. No, it's but this is obviously a completely different cap. We're getting a whole bunch of different elements to it, and having actors like Harrison Ford and Giancarlo Esposito in there, more Danny Ramirez,
we're getting a
who
mutant, aren't we, as well?
and
Technically?
Sabra, yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, more Danny Ramirez as Falcon,
Hmm.
because I loved him in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That was a character where it was like, man, I wish they had more of him in it too. So I think all of those things, I'm excited for it. I'm just less excited for it than the others. And
Yeah.
also, you do realize that that is 2 months away.
Yeah.
We're
It's
gonna do a double Valentine's Day date for
oh,
it.
yeah, let's do it.
Yep.
Let's see if my wife is interested in that. Like, really?
Yep.
Really? That's what you want to do on Valentine's Day?
I mean, honestly, that's better
Yeah.
than trying to go to a restaurant anywhere.
That's true. That's true. We'll be among our own people in the movie
Yes.
theaters.
Yep. Then, I mean, I'm assuming we both have the same number two as Thunderbolts asterisk.
Yeah. Yep. Butthole's the number two.
Yeah.
I
I, yeah.
would.
Like we were talking about when we talked about it, I'm just really stoked for this one because of the chemistry of like that core group of characters.
Hmm.
And I
Yep.
think it's going to be I think people might be disappointed with how much action there is in Brave New World, and that there's going to be less action just because it's more of that espionage has who's infiltrated the inner circle. Thunderbolts is going to bring the action.
Yeah. Yep.
Them
I think.
fighting amongst themselves and them fighting against whomever else, it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of quick wit banter that's happening in between the
Yep.
Thunderbolt crew, and I feel like a lot of action. It's not gonna be it'll be smaller size of action compared to like
Yes.
Captain, because I think it's
Mhm.
gonna be you obviously have Hulk, and they're gonna be very big scenes, but
Right. Or fighting around the Celestial
right, and that's
in the
cool.
Indian
That's
Ocean.
fine that
Yep.
they're gonna be running it that way, but obviously we have the same most highly anticipated
Blade. Oh, wait.
Blade.
That's not coming out anymore.
Nope. Nope. Yeah, Fantastic Four is obviously for us is gonna be great. And it's in July, let's
Mhm.
see, July 25th.
Yep.
Okay.
Around that.
It's not like a for sure set date. Just don't do it
Well,
on the holiday. They would not do it on.
it's not as, yeah, it is July 25th. I was going to say it has a set date. I just don't remember what it is off the
Oh,
top of my head.
I did my homework. I looked it up. It is
Yes.
July 25th.
Yeah. Thunderbolts is May 2nd. And obviously, we just said that Brave New World is February 14th.
Yes.
But yeah, this one, I can't wait to see what this one is, especially since it kicks off the end game of the multiverse saga.
Hmm.
This is we will be moving to season 4 of the 10-Minute Marvel podcast when the Fantastic Four comes out, because that kicks off phase 6. In case you haven't
Wow.
figured it out, we go to a new season whenever a new phase starts.
I I'm good to know. I didn't have that figured out. Petter runs the show, everybody, obviously.
Yes, so yeah, and just the cast is so good too.
Hmm.
Like Joseph Quinn, Vanessa Kirby, uh,
Yep, I knew you're gonna choke on that on
Evan Moss
Bacharach.
Bacharach. No,
Yeah.
that was not the one. I always want to say, I always blank for a second on if it's Pedro Pascal or Pablo Pascal, but it's Pedro Pascal. And that's what I was actually pausing
Oh,
on. And then, I mean, then the other actors like
what's his name? Oh, who's that
Ralph
guy from Being
Ineson,
John Malkovich that
yeah,
is in this?
Paul Walter Hauser, so you're thinking of?
Yeah,
No,
that's it.
Julia
Doogie
Garner,
Howser?
John Malkovich, Natasha Lyonne. Ooh, Sarah Niles. That is like on the Wikipedia page, it has her. I don't know who she is or who she's playing.
She's the key grip. They just have her in the wrong. I don't know what a key grip even does. What's her name? Sarah Miles? Or no,
Niles.
Niles. Sarah with an
Yes.
H, the way it should be.
Yes.
Okay.
She's a British actress.
Sarah
Uh,
Niles, British film actor.
yes, she's been
Oh,
in stuff like Ted Lasso for 19 episodes.
yeah.
I need to
She
watch
was.
that.
You haven't seen. All
No,
right.
I have it all. Well, because it wasn't on Blu-ray for a while. I'm not paying for another streaming service for one show.
Oh, Apple TV's got good stuff, man. Silo.
Yep.
Silo is awesome.
Silo, Severance.
Um,
Um,
even For All Mankind is good.
I also just don't like paying money to Apple
I
on
understand, but it's
principle.
like $7
Yeah.
as
It was
I
apparent.
hold an iPhone.
It was $7. Add two zeros.
Yeah, I can't remember. Is she like I wonder what her
Don't ask me
role
who
is gonna
she is
be.
in that. But yeah, I mean, who knows who she's going to be in this movie? And easy, I think, number one. Let us know your
Yep.
number one. You can do that um, over on X, where you can let me know at the Scando or with hashtag 10minmarvel. Facebook page, leave a comment, um, facebook.com/10minmarvel, or on the YouTube. I will have a poll up again on the community page. So youtube.com, I believe it is, let me make sure I have it right, youtube.com/at 10 Min Marvel if you want to navigate directly there, or just search for 10 Minute Marvel. And again, we really appreciate everybody who is listening. We've had very good numbers recently for us for our podcasts, so we love it. Seeing it
Hmm.
every week and makes me happy. Um, if you want to support the podcast, Greg gave a few ways at the beginning, but we also have a Patreon, patreon.com/nerdologists. The funds go to help improve the quality of this podcast, as well as the Months of Meeple's YouTube channel, 10 Minute Marvel YouTube channel, and nerdologist.com website. But with that, we'll see you next time.
Thank you, everybody.